In case you've been hiding under a rock for the last 24 hours, let me be the first to tell you that F1 star designer and aerodynamic oracle Adrian Newey is reportedly on his way out of the Red Bull F1 team. Adrian has spearheaded Red Bull's technical department since the team's inception and has had more than a hand in the 6 constructors titles and 7 drivers titles. His influence in the design of Red Bull's ground effect cars has been credited for the team's domination of the sport since 2022. His impending departure is a big deal, but what does it actually mean? Will Red Bull fall apart? Will he head elsewhere, or is this the end of F1's most prolific designer? Today, I'm going to dissect it all, so don't go anywhere. When the news started breaking that Adrian Newey was potentially on his way out of Red Bull, one of my friends in our F1 group chat shared the news with a message saying, "Thank F for that, the sport is saved." Trawling social media in front of the TV last night, that seemed to be the response of many fans. As impressive as watching Max drive a Red Bull to victory by 30 seconds once a fortnight is, people would like to see more of a battle at the front. That reaction isn't an insult, it's the biggest compliment possible for Adrian. He's always been a poster boy in Formula 1, though he's tried his best to avoid it since Leighton House. His designs have sparked revolution and brought desperate protests from his competitors throughout his time in the sport. He's won titles with Williams, McLaren, and obviously Red Bull. Even his debut at Leighton House was heralded as a success, making a minnow team with a far inferior engine to the big dogs into podium finishes and almost race winners. His success and skill earned him free rein at Red Bull. He might hold the title of Chief Technical Officer, but that isn't the role he fulfills, not in the same sense as a modern CTO does in F1. He picks and chooses what he wants to work on, lending his skills and experience to whatever area he thinks the team would benefit from his input in. He doesn't spend his days assessing workflows and sitting in on pointless meetings. With hands dirtied by pencil lead, he gets involved in the nitty-gritty details of F1 car design. His place at Red Bull was thought to be completely unquestionable. The team's technical department is built around him, given the opportunity to work as he wishes. He is definitely the best paid technical staff member in F1, and Red Bull is as much his team as it is Christian Horner's. They built the beast together. However, the ongoing controversy of Christian Horner's inappropriate communications with a team member has unsettled the once impenetrable fortress at Red Bull. While there is no official communication yet from Red Bull, reports have come from all the biggest publications in motorsport that Adrian has expressed his desire to leave the team. Is it to move to another team though? Or is he done with Formula 1? At 67 years old and a lifetime spent traveling the globe following the IndyCar and Formula 1 calendar, he would certainly be entitled to some rest. All Red Bull have said so far regarding the news is that Newey is contracted until at least the end of 2025, and the team are not aware of him joining any other team. The shock development has inevitably fueled talk that Newey's departure could open the door for a move to a big money rival, with it known that both Ferrari and Aston Martin have been trying to lure him on board. A move to any other team on the grid would be of a huge benefit to whomever managed to tempt him. It isn't even a question that he would have something to offer. Ferrari will be bolstered by the arrival of Lewis Hamilton next year, and a Newey switch there would see him work with the Italian squad and 7-time world champion for the first time. He has been courted by the Scuderia before, and just like it is for a driver, designing a title-winning car for Ferrari would be the cherry on top of the already luxurious cake of a career Adrian has had. However, Ferrari has its downsides. Firstly, it's in Italy, a long way from Newey's family and friends in England. Secondly, if he wants a less political workplace, then Ferrari is not the place to go. Maranello is one of the last bastions of Formula 1's snake pit of political vipers who were everywhere in F1 until the 2010s, and that's a situation that Newey won't enjoy. Aston Martin would be a more straightforward move. Team owner Lawrence Stroll is reported to have made a personal offer to Adrian and has the money to make sure it is a very, very, very good offer. Stroll has an ambitious vision for the Silverstone-based squad, and a move there for Newey would be logistically easier for him and would see him renew a working relationship with Dan Fallows after the pair worked closely together at Red Bull for several years. He would also have Honda engines to work with again, which would make life easier. Importantly for Newey, both teams could offer him projects outside of F1. Adrian has expressed his disdain for the increasingly prescriptive technical regulations that the FIA write, stating that it takes something away from the sport. He finds ways around them, of course, but at Aston and Ferrari, he could design ridiculous hypercars or work on their Le Mans prototype cars, and that will definitely be part of any offer that either team makes to him. His involvement in Red Bull's RB17 hypercar project is thought to have been a deciding factor in the contract extension that was signed in 2023. But the situation surrounding Newey is incredibly complex, especially when it comes down to his contractual arrangements. As Red Bull made clear in a statement on Thursday evening, Newey's current contract, which was signed early last year, currently commits him to working at the team until the end of 2025. However, it's also understood that there are further contractual non-compete clauses that could prevent him from joining one of Red Bull's rivals for another 12 months beyond that, which would, in theory, make him unavailable to another squad until 2027. That non-compete is unlikely to include work on non-F1 projects though, which means he could join Ferrari or Aston if he wanted and then begin work in F1 again in 2027. However, Adrian has gotten out of non-competes in the past. While at Williams, he broke his contract early to join McLaren. Williams tried to enforce his non-compete, but due to perceived breaches of contract by the other two senior managers at the time, Frank Williams and Paddy Lowe, Newey believed he could break the non-compete. It didn't matter in the end because McLaren just paid Williams to not enforce it, but Adrian was confident he could have fought out of it in court. Red Bull would of course demand a serious fee for Adrian to be released early, though it would probably have to be in the tens of millions of dollars to really put off Ferrari or Aston Martin. And any fee would likely be outside of the budget cap as well, so wouldn't have an impact on the team's performance. A choice either way won't be easy to make, but at the end of the day, if he stays in F1, it probably boils down to the chance to work with Ferrari and Hamilton and get that cherry to add to his cake, or Aston Martin because that would be the easier environment and life choice. Of course, whoever gets their hands on him won't be the only ones affected by the potential move. The impact of his departure on Red Bull should not be understated. The skills and experience Adrian offers cannot be replaced. It's as simple as that. However, Red Bull aren't likely to suddenly implode like some people seem to be claiming. They are a team of over 1,000 members, and while his departure will have an impact, it isn't going to result in Red Bull suddenly being the slowest team in the sport. Adrian is not solely responsible for everything Red Bull and Verstappen have achieved in the last few years. To say so would be a massive insult to the rest of Red Bull, who have been pivotal to that success. But Red Bull will miss that ability to find solutions that no one else can. Their floor has been heralded as light years ahead of the rest of the grid since the ground effect was reintroduced in 2022, and he can take credit for that. On the flip side though, while he has a lot to offer, Newey is also no guarantee of success. Renault engines held back Red Bull from 2014 till 2018. However, in 2019 and 2020, with a much better Honda engine, Red Bull still weren't championship winners. It took years of development to get close enough to challenge Mercedes for a driver's title, and that was only possible because of the generational talent of Max Verstappen and the unfortunate series of events at the season finale in Abu Dhabi. With a massive change in regulations due for 2026 though, Adrian's sharp eye will be sorely missed. His ability to marry mechanical with aerodynamic would be a massive boon to Red Bull with new engines and aero regs coming at the same time, but his absence won't mean they can't produce the best car on the grid. It may just be more difficult than before. So what are your thoughts on all of this? Is he going to head to Ferrari or Aston Martin? Or at 67, will he just put his feet up and enjoy a well-earned retirement? Let me know in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.